Good morning, everybody. Welcome to All Four Queens. I just wanted to come on today to talk about spiritual. So, welcome to spiritual class, but probably not a spiritual class. More so the fact that when you end up awakening, it sort of sends a ripple effect to everybody. And what that means is, obviously, in the last previous one, I said that things like the secrets and things that have been happening in the dark come to light, which were never really in the dark anyway. But obviously, it causes people problems. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was abuse comes in various guises. It's not just physical, it's emotional, sexual, psychological, and financial. But what is happening with me is my abusers seem to feel that it's okay to emotionally abuse, and have done all my life, by paying people to come into my life and go out of my life, and to create like an emotional turbulence, which obviously you heal from. So I'll do a session on healing later. But one of the things I wanted to sort of talk about was why the abusers abuse, but then try and cover their tracks and their secrets by trying to enforce a mental health label. So what is the purpose of that? I mean, is that to devalue or discredit someone's truth because they've been abused all their life, you know, with all those things that I mentioned? And those that participate, who intentionally take money to be abusers, discernment. Do you ever ask the question, why am I doing this? And what really is the benefit of doing it? I mean, obviously greed is part of it, because if you're getting paid to do it, then maybe that was your lesson, alongside loyalty and integrity. We all have lessons, as I said before, and maybe that was your test to see whether or not you would participate, or you would actually say, no, this isn't for me. So I suppose the question really is, what is the going rate to be an abuser? So how much do people take to be an abuser around the world, to facilitate someone else's obsession and lies? You know, you've been manipulated just as much, I guess. But I suppose the question is, what is the going rate to be an abuser, and to use your network to facilitate the lies and the manipulation to harm another human being who is just here to do what they're here to do? I don't really understand it, but what I do know is that the light of God, and I say God, I mean, you can believe in Allah, you can believe in divine, whichever you know label you want to say, but there's always the dark and there's always the light. So I prefer to use God. And I think that what's happening now is, as I said before in my previous one, the circle of the 8 is now everything going back. People are running and they're scared because the secrets are out, and you know what had been done in the dark is now out in the light. So judgment has been called and karma is now in play. So to hide what has been done, it's easy to try and put the label on the person that's been abused being mentally ill. Well, I'm not mentally ill. I've not had an assessment, and if there is anything in the system that suggests I have mental illness, it's fraudulently there, and I've said that on some of my complaints. So it's not, I've never had an assessment to say that I'm mentally ill, apart from whoever tried to force the one in 2024, which obviously came out that I don't have mental illness. So what I want to know is, what is the going rate? You know, how much has everyone been paid? I know it's all about money that people are holding on to and have been using for years and years and years, that has not been theirs, it's mine. But to actually put a label of mental illness on somebody, it's used as a double-edged sword and a weapon. A mental illness is not something to be taken lightly. There are people struggling in this world who are desperate to have an assessment, yet I seem to be a priority on everyone's list to get a label stuck on me straight away, which is sad, because I do feel for all those that have got mental illness. And you know, if you have, please write in the comments, because I really want to connect with people that do have mental illness and obviously understand where it come from. Because I've been abused and bullied all my life, by people who all I've ever done was show love to. But, you know, hey ho, we're all here to learn our lessons, aren't we? The other thing that I wanted to raise as well is I did actually do a bullying campaign on GoFundMe. There it is. And then someone decided to go in and delete it. So, again, another bullying tactic. So what I would suggest is to that person, go and reinstate it, because you're not just hurting me, you're hurting all the other people that will benefit from me raising money to be able to help their cause and to help them. So I would suggest, as you're going through karma, that you actually go in and reinstate that and maybe alleviate a little bit of your pain, because like I say, that's not just about me, that's about everybody else out there that has been abused and has been bullied for no reason of their own, just because they are who they are. And whatever your reason is obviously you need to look within and find out why you feel it's important to go and abuse and hurt somebody else. And like I said before, quite happy to have a conversation with you, quite happy to support you on your journey, because that's what I'm here for. But what I'm not going to do is let you get away with it and let you continue to hurt people because you obviously have your own issues. So I think that for me, you know, we're all in now, Piscean age was last, you know, Piscean age was gone, and that was all about the ego. We're now in the Aquarian age, which is about the we together, you know, supporting each other. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that don't want to be in that age because you want to stay in your ego, which is fine, you know, stay in your ego, but stay with the collective of people who want to be in the ego, because some of us do actually want to move forward and be of service and help others. That's what we're all here for. I don't understand why you want to make it so difficult, and I don't understand why I've become your target. And if it's about the twin flame journey, which I'll talk about separately, that's a divine connection. That, like I said before, you know, this warfare that you've created is not my battle. It is the battle between light and dark, spiritual realm. So if you've got a problem, take it up with them. Take it up with them, because obviously, you know, your own ancestors are annoyed at you because you haven't done what you were supposed to do, which was clear your karma and allowed them to move into the light. So take heed again. You know, we're not here to hurt other people. We're here to clear karma, clear generational curses, and move forward, supporting others and sharing, you know, being of light, not of the dark, because eventually the light will always shine through. So if you want to alleviate your karma, I would suggest that you consider your actions, because remember in the last one I said about thoughts, words and actions. So whoever's trying to make me out to be something that I'm not, I would suggest that you retract that and you recant all your hexes and all your curses that you've done over the last however many years, well, I'd say most of my life probably, and sit with yourselves and look within and understand why you behave the way you do, because it's only yourself that you're hurting. But obviously with this campaign, I ask that you put it back, you reinstate it, so that other people can get the benefit who have been bullied and have been abused, by no means of their own, just by being innocent. So I ask that you do that for yourself more than anything. And then the question again is, how much does it cost to be an abuser around the world against one person who has done nothing to you at all other than live their life? And if it's about money, which I suggest it is, consider your actions, because Now you're dealing with your karma, and you're also attracting that person's karma, because they set out to do a whole bullying campaign and abuse by proxy and got everybody involved over lies which weren't true. So your lesson was to validate the lies and ask yourself, why would you want to get involved in that? Why would you intentionally want to be classified as an abuser? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me anyway. And hopefully you'll sit with yourselves and you'll realise that it doesn't make sense to you either, because I don't think anyone wants the label of abuser, really. But I'll leave that one with you and let you ponder on that. But yeah, so mental health being used as a double-edged sword for a weapon to devalue and discredit someone's truth and experience. That's just crazy. It just doesn't make sense to me. But also what does concern me is those people that have spoke the truth and have had things happen to them and have unfortunately got the label of mental health. And I question, is it mental health, or if they just had a spiritual awakening and people are scared of it because they're awake? But eventually we're all going to be awake. So I think that for me, you're using something that could be used as a misdiagnosis against people, all because you're trying to shut people up. And I don't really understand why you want to do that, because do we not live in a democracy? Well, obviously in the UK we do, that has freedom of speech. So one should be allowed to say what has happened to them without being chastised and condemned for actually speaking the truth. That's what we're here to do. Everyone has the right to speak the truth. Everyone has the right to say what has happened to them. And if people don't like it, that's fine. But ask yourself why you don't like it. Is it because it hits a nail with you? Is it because it's a trigger to you? And if it is a trigger, then maybe that's something you need to look at deep within and find out why it's a trigger. What happened to you that made it a trigger? And when I speak my words of wisdom, they're not to harm or injure. If they do trigger you, then again, you need to look within and find out why it triggers you. What is it about you that has happened to you that has caused you to behave the way that you do? Because we all have choices, but we are all here to serve and help others who have gone through similar. Not to harm people and to create even more distress. Why would you do that? I mean, you know, if you're not happy with you, stay in your lane, but leave other people alone. So again, I ask before I leave that you reinstate that GoFundMe page, because it's not just about me, it's about other people. And for all the people that don't get any support from me, you will get karma for them. So just be mindful in what you're doing and why you're doing it. So please subscribe, leave a like, and also leave your comments around whether you've been subjected to abuse and bullying, because I'd like to know. And obviously I am doing coaching, so obviously that is part of it as well, and I will set up some sort of system for that, because I think it's important that people can grow and transform and acknowledge what's happened to them, but also be able to live a life that's comfortable for them. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to send you love and light, and I hope that you have a good day and that you look after yourselves and keep up with whatever you're doing. And I'll see you on the next one. See you later. Bye.